All right, fourth grade, it's Mr. Remedies back with another lesson in reading language arts. Today, we're talking about text features of nonfiction text. Very important skill to have to really dive in and understand and get the full meaning and message of those nonfiction texts. So, without further ado, let's dive into our learning goal and success criteria so we know what we're trying to accomplish today. Our learning goal today is that we are learning to identify and use text features in nonfiction text. Along the way, we have some success criteria that are wrapped up in three I can statements, like I can define text feature, pretty important to do so. I can name at least 5 types of text features, even though we're going to talk about a lot more. And I can describe the purpose of text features. Now that we have that out of the way, let's scoot on over to some vocabulary and then dive into some examples of text features. Our vocabulary for the day is the word text feature. The text feature means any characteristic outside of the main body of text. Okay? They provide tons of useful information for us, and as we learn to identify and use them, they'll be a big help for us. But we got to know what they are. The text feature. Any characteristic of a text outside the main body of text. Now, let's look at a pretty sweet anchor chart that kind of gives us an idea of just what text features are and all the different types of text features. Now, take a close look. How many do you see here? I'll give you 10 seconds. 9, 8, 7, boom, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Boom. If you said there are 11 text features, you're absolutely right. We got table of contents. We got some font changes. We're going to be talking about maps. We're going to be talking about headings, subheadings. We're going to be talking about diagrams. Those are pretty cool. We're going to be talking about graphs, which are also really cool. We're going to be talking about photographs, captions. We're going to be talking about something called a glossary. A glossary's friend, the index. Boom. We're going to be talking about a lot of stuff today. And so it's going to be a lot of information, but I think you guys are ready for it because, quite honestly, some of these you're already familiar with, and some of these you're going to really enjoy learning about. So let's move on to our first text feature, appropriately, the table of contents. All right, our first text feature, table of contents. The table of contents tells the name of each chapter and the page number it starts on. And it's always, 100% of the time found at the beginning of the book. And you guys are pretty familiar with that. That's something that you guys had experience with for quite some time now. All right, very similar to text features to the table of contents is the index. The index is a list of important topics in the book and what page number they're on, listed in ABC order and found at the end of the book. So in this book, if I wanted to find pages with the topic of animals, I would look at page 6, 8, 10, 14, 15, 16, 21, and 23. And that is found at the end of the book, and I would just flip to it and then look what page number and then flip to that page and find that topic. Okay? Very important to understand what an index is because it is very closely related to our next text feature, which is the glossary. The glossary is a list of definitions of important words, usually found in the back of the book. This is a little bit different than the index, and the index is just going to tell you what page number that important topics are found on. The glossary is going to tell you what some of those important words mean. It's kind of like a dictionary for the book. As you can see in this example, we got all kinds of different definitions. This looks to be probably a pretty sweet science book. All right, let's move on to the next one. The next text feature is going to be maps. I'm sure you've seen maps in all kinds of cool social studies and science text. Maps simply show where things are, and these can be in the front of the book, in the back of the book. They can, most of the time, they're spread out throughout the book, especially being placed where they need to be according to what the topic of discussion is or the topic of the text is. You're going to find a map pretty close to it if necessary. So maps, pretty simple. They show where things are. Very similar to maps is our next feature, the diagram. Diagrams show you how the idea works, and they help you see, quote unquote, the idea. So here we have a diagram of the water cycle. And we usually see diagrams in science books or engineering books or when we're trying to find out how something works and the step-by-step process of that. Another text feature we have that is very similar to maps and diagrams and whatnot are called graphs. Graphs show you data and numbers in a way that's easy to understand. And you guys have been doing graphs all the way since kindergarten, but graphs are a very cool way to give us a lot of information, a lot of data in a very easily understood way. We also have text features such as photographs and captions. They go hand in hand. They're like BFFs. So photographs, you know what a photograph is. It's something that shows you what something actually looks like my boy, the chimpanzee over here. Captions are always very close to the photographs. They describe what's in the photo. So here we have a caption. We have a picture of a chimpanzee. The caption reads, "Adult male chimps weigh 100 pounds on average." So photographs, captions, BFFs, you know them, you love them, they love each other. They're awesome. Another text feature we have, and this is a little bit more complicated, we have headings and subheadings. Headings preview the section ideas, subheadings name and preview the subsection topic. So here, in this text, our heading would be pulleys at work. And then a subheading would be steps to follow or how does it work. Okay. So again, headings preview the section idea. And within that, we can break down that section to smaller sections called subsections. And those are what the subheadings tell us or preview the topic for. So boom, pulleys at work, heading. How does it work? Subheading. Got it? Yeah, you do. You're amazing. Well, let's move on. Today, we're going to look through an example. We're going to look through the text Face to Face with Whales by Flip and Linda Micklin. And we're going to really examine and see all the amazing text features that are present in a nonfiction text. All right, so boom, full screen, Mr. Remedies, right here for you. I've got my book, Face to Face with Whales. And first thing I want to look at is, way over here, I want to look at page 5. And if you notice right here, way over here, I've got the bold face to face here. It is large. It is in charge. I noticed that the font has changed, the shape of the letters, the style of the letters, face to face. I know that since these words are so big that, man, this just must be a very important text. This might be the title. This also may help me understand what actually this book is going to be about. Plus, I get to see a close-up of what I assume is the author and a big old giant whale here. So this change in font actually gives me a little bit of a preview about what the section is going to be about. And I think that's pretty awesome. Right, turning to page 6 right here, I've got something very unique. I've got something called a sidebar. Okay, now a sidebar is kind of like a little list. It's found, guess where? It's found on the side. You got it. And it provides us a little bit of information in a quick bulleted list that may be pretty easy to understand or just a little bit of a side topic as opposed to the main topic here. So I've got sea monsters. This section is going to tell me exactly why whales were considered monsters way back in the day. So this is an important bit of text, even though this is the main body. So this is outside the text. Pretty sweet text feature. Boom, turning to page 10, I see all kinds of cool stuff. I see not just one, not just two, but I see 6 photographs here. They're numbered, and I see quite a few captions here. So these captions, they're going to list information for me, and if you notice, if my camera can pick it up, that each one of these captions are numbered, and the number in the caption corresponds with the number of the photograph. So that's going to tell me a lot about what's going on in each photograph. It's organized. It helps me know exactly what the author is trying to tell me and the information I need to know. So that's amazing. Plus, in this text, they do you a solid and they give you a little arrow pointing to the picture that the caption is describing. Very thoughtful of them. Not every text will do that, but National Geographic doing us a solid. Well done, National Geographic. Turning the page to page 11, if you notice, seems to be a graphic of some sort, but it's not a photograph. This is a diagram, which I think is pretty sweet. Now, it also, this diagram, but boom, way over here, you also have a caption describing what the diagram is telling us, which is, if you can see here, the size of different whales and how they compare to some of the large land animals, which I think is pretty useful as well. Diagrams, if they are not labeled very detailed, then the layout, the editors, the author, they can use this. They can use this caption to help us understand, and it works all well the same. But you know what? We got to do our part, and we have to be on the lookout for text features, and we have to, we really got to be on the ball with determining where the captions are pointing us to. All right, let's see if there's any other cool text features. I think on page 16 and 17, I think we're going to have you guys examine some of the text features in your assignment today, and I think you guys are going to be all-stars at it. In fact, I don't think so. I know you're going to be all-stars at it because you know what? I trust that you guys are on the ball. All right, let's move on to a short review. As a review, nonfiction text often include text features. A text feature is any characteristic outside of the main body of text. Text features provide valuable information, super valuable, ultra, mega valuable information. There are 11 types of text features, including captions, charts, subheadings, glossaries, tables of contents, diagrams, headings, indexes, maps, sidebars, font changes, awesome, headings, subheadings, holy smokes, we got a bunch of them, all right? So they are very important. They add to the information that the author is trying to give us. They add to our engagement, and a lot of times they keep us interested in the text. Right? Mr. Remedies, I like looking at a good diagram just as much as the next person, and I think it adds to my enjoyment and my learning of the information. So as you read today in your independent reading time, check out a nonfiction text and see if you notice any of these text features, and see and think to yourself, how does this help me learn the information? How does this help me stay interested? Okay? As always, you know me, I've been Mr. Remedies, and you've been amazing. Don't let anybody tell you any different. And we will see you down the road. Adios.